Okay, guys, I'm gonna put some garlic in the ground. But I said that I was gonna oh! Ooh, here we go. Boy, that wind out here ain't nothing to play with. I said I was gonna show y'all how I started these out. Get them ready for planting. At least the way I like doing it anyway. All I did was took a cup. Come on, let go. There we go. So all I did, took a cup, and I put some water in it. Yeah, that's better. All I did was took a cup, put some water in it, and I took a whole bowl or cluster or whatever you want to call it of garlic. But hold on, let me get my come here, you. All right. Now when I filled it up, I filled it to the brim pretty much, or as close to the brim as possible. And then I just took that clove and just sat it on top. When you get a clove, it doesn't matter if you get it from the store or if you get it as seed. They have roots at the bottom. When you set it on top of that cup, there are two things you need to look out for. One, that the cup is at a diameter that doesn't allow the whole cluster to drop down into the cup. And then you just want enough that the roots get wet. The first thing's going to happen, I can get rid of you now, roots are going to start to grow. And once those roots get somewhere in the neighborhood of an inch, inch and a half long, or deep into that water, if you will, then you're going to start seeing shoots coming up. There's one I spotted here. See if I can find that joker. Here. This is a good candidate to show the early stages. See how those roots are? They're not very long. But then you got a green shoot coming out. And of course, the longer you leave it in, the longer the roots are going to grow and the more shoots that you're going to have. So the reason I do this is because I'm here in the desert, folks. Hot desert, not really a true desert, if you will, but I'm in the desert nonetheless. So my thought behind this way of starting garlic out here in this desert is if I can get my roots to run deep, then my watering will have more benefits for the plant. In other words, even though you look at this soil on the surface, it's dry. Look at that, practically dust. Let me change angles for a second. Alright, let me get a clump. There we go. Look at that. Y'all see that clump? See how the wind is blowing that away like it's dust? Well, even though it looked like that on the surface, if you add enough water in it with the right amendments that you add into the soil, it'll hold more moisture. And when those roots are deep, then they can get water when you're behind water, or in my case, I run out of water. And, can't wait for the rain all the time. So that's my reasoning behind starting them out this way instead of like most people would just slap them in the soil. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I have to take every precaution and or advantage to everything that I do out here in this desert to ensure as much success of my growing as possible. That's my goal. And I'm just teasing the roots loose. Look at that. That's an impressive root system that hasn't seen a drop of soil in its yet, since I've had it at least. Look at that root system. Shit, let's get these bad boys in the ground. And I've already prepared my soil, dug my hole. I amended it with some alfalfa pellets. I'm just gonna drop them in. It's too solid, but anyway, cover them up. Get them in that soil. Now, these alfalfa pellets have been hydrated, and then further dried. That way I can break them up so that they will blend better into the soil. And if you put them in the soil like this dry, when they absorb the water that I'm going to water them with after I get them all planted, I'm going to water them in, they'll hold a degree of that moisture, therefore giving the plant time to get its benefits from that water, to absorb it, any nutrients that's around it, and so on and so forth. So that's the reason why I plant them the way I plant them out here. And these little techniques, if you want to call them that, they didn't come to me overnight. It's just, growing different conditions, because some of you may not know I've grown gardens in various states in this country. This is my first microclimate because it's pretty daggone weird out here. But this caliche is some weird stuff, man. When it's dry, it's like baby powder. When it's wet, it's slicker than oil. Somewhere in between, it's not quite mud, but it's difficult to explain it. I've never seen soil have characteristics of caliche rich soil, because caliche is not found everywhere, so it's kind of difficult to explain it properly, if you will. But I do my best. I mean, I'm not perfect. None of us are. But that's no reason to not put forth your best. And, well, I've come to the realization that here in this hot desert, I could chalk this up as chapter 2 in in my growing system, developing ways to overcome all kinds of different harsh, hard, difficult growing aspects that one may face throughout the years of growing, that's not necessarily stationary in one place, because you can master that area, so to speak. Well, here I'm dealing with soil issues, lack of rain, moisture, dry, wind. You freaking name it, I'm dealing with it. And I'm trying to figure out and develop a way that I could overcome and deal with any situation that's pretty much thrown at me, to be able to produce, grow plants, food, medicinal or for eating, whatever you want. Because there's certain things every plant has in common that they need, regardless if you can eat it or not. It's a plant. And there are certain things, certain plants that need a particular care regimen, if you will, or what have you. And I just got to adapt. So it's a learning experience, as well as pushing my knowledge, wisdom, and experience. Push it. I don't mind that. I welcome it. Because the harder you push, the more I'm going to get out of it. Because I'm hard-headed that way. Don't tell me what I can't do. I'm not that person. The more you tell me I can't do something, the harder and longer, and I'm going to do it. Rather orthodox or unorthodox, I'm going to do it. I don't know. I can't explain it no other way. That's just me. If I get something in my head I'm going to do, well, as the old saying goes, peel it out of my dead hands, my cold dead hands. Pretty much. I won't have it no other way. That's just me. All of that's garlic. And I think I went a little bit overboard with it, but sometimes, especially in situations like this, it's better to have more than you need than not enough. Because as my earlier video pretty much tells you, you don't know what you're going to get out here. It's like, what's that dude's name? Forrest Gump box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get next. So you got to learn how to adapt and achieve what you're trying to achieve. And, you don't always succeed. That's life. You don't always succeed at everything. But the beauty of gardening is, well, gardening will leave you things in place that you could read and study from, if you will. Just like you can look at a plant and tell, it needs water. Some more experienced gardeners can look at a plant and tell, well, fungus did this, or this type of bug did that, or so on and so forth. So it leaves you something behind that you could, read. Therefore, you gather information. And with that information, you can strategize a plan to combat it, overcome it. And sometimes that don't even work. But at least you know what not to do if that same type of a situation were to reoccur. So gardening, in my opinion, requires a lot of patience, planning. In my opinion, planning is, wow, a high percentage of the garden game. Because if you don't plan properly, well, that could be the difference in eating or not eating, in this case, because I'm growing for food. Or it could be the difference in not having a certain type of plant be the best that it could be, regardless of what you do. And gardening also requires learning a level of wisdom that you've done everything right, did all you could do, and yet you have issues. Well, that's gardening. That's gardening in its best as far as I'm concerned. Because if you're not the type of person that's going to put forth the effort to read and understand not only what the plant is telling you, but you also need to read the environment in which the plant is in. So that also gives you good information if you know how to receive it. Nature, it's one of those things that provides, gives all you need, or most of what you need. So if you can capitalize on that and make it what you need it to be for what you're trying to do to achieve your desired outcome, in my opinion, it's not on nature. That's on you for not being able to flow with her but developing ideologies, strategies, and what have you to manipulate her to get what you want, instead of manipulating her in a way that she doesn't mind flowing with you because it's not outside of her order. I'm going to take these and I'm going to put these back in that cup, get some more water on them, because this desert environment is drying them out pretty quick. See how they wilting? I gotta stop that. Where's my cup? Get my cup back. You know, like, I can give an example of that. Earlier I did a video today. I was happy. It was raining. Yeah, well, that rain stopped quick. It was a drizzle. It wasn't even enough to wet the ground, just a few spots here and there. But I was grateful for it. But that led me to have to use the old tap water to fill up my rain catchment system so that my automated irrigation system can work properly. Because I can't be here babysitting, watering by hand and this and that. I ain't got the time for that. Our society won't allow that. So that water is it's inferior to natural rainwater. It has stuff in it that will actually do damage to soil. Not significant damage, but damage that kind of counteracts your natural way of doing things. So with that being said, that's a form of manipulating nature in a way that she still will work with you because it's water. And not only because it's water, the soil over time will correct certain things, providing you give it what it needs to correct it. And in my case, it's that organic matter, more diverse the better, but that organic matter that does the soil well in so many ways. So that's just how my crazy mind works, and I can't go against it because I have no reason to. It works. Works for me anyway. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get these babies watered in. As you saw, that second one that I watered, I'm gonna have to put some more soil over that bad boy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of these, and you guys take care. Be safe out there. Love your gardens, and remember, when you plant a garden, nature comes to you. But when you plant a garden with nature in mind, nature stays with you. And somewhere down the line, I'm going to show you an example of exactly what I just said. So you guys take care. I wish you bountiful harvest. Till next time.